My name is Randy Howell, and you're listening to the Faith and Fishing Podcast.
Welcome to the Faith and Fishing Podcast. I'm Cam.
And I'm Robert. In every episode, we're bringing you faith stories and fishing memories from some amazing members of the fishing community.
So join us as we shed a positive light on all things faith and fishing. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Faith and Fishing Podcast. I'm Cam, and this week it is me that is flying solo until Robert gets here. Hopefully he is able to join us a little bit late, but I want to go ahead and just say thank you to Robert for doing a great job of running the show last week whenever I was not able to be here. Had some medical stuff come up in the family this past few weeks, and it's been crazy, but it has it did end up keeping me out of the podcast for one episode, but that is one of the reasons that I wanted a co-host, and Robert did fantastic. So huge thank you to him, and I am sorry to Paul for missing that one. I've been trying to get him on the podcast for a while, and he finally says yes, and I'm not able to do it, but that's how it goes sometimes. Just a quick little bit of housekeeping. First, I just want to give a shout out to Jackson for his catch charity tournament. It finished up. Let's see. It was not this. Yeah, it was this past weekend of this recording. So whenever y'all are listening to it, it'll be 2 weekends ago, and I actually don't have the winners pulled up right now because I'm in a separate. I'm in a new spot tonight. I don't have a separate monitor to be able to look at two different things, so I don't have the winners pulled up. But we'll give them a shout out next week. But I am excited about this week, this episode. I will say there's a chance I might be muting myself and coughing a little bit. I just kind of I'm dealt with a bunch of nastiness in a ceiling last week, so had finally getting over the cough, but laughing is one of the things that definitely brings it out of me. So we will see how this goes. But let's go ahead. Let's thank a couple sponsors, and then we will we will kind of dive into this episode.
Get Outdoors Pedal and Paddle is one of the largest canoe, kayak, and cycling retailers in the Southeast, with a huge selection of kayaks, canoes, bikes, and all the accessories needed to experience paddling and cycling comfortably and safely. Get Outdoors helps to expand and educate the paddling community through their free demos held on local lakes in the Greensboro, North Carolina area, and through in-store clinics and on-the-water courses and demos. And we'll even get your new boat rigged up for kayak fishing for you. Stop by the shop in Greensboro, North Carolina, or check out shopgetoutdoors.com to be wowed by their selection.
If finesse fishing is your comfort zone, something you want to learn better this year, or just something you like to tie on as a Hail Mary pass, Jade's Jigs has everything you need and more, and it's all eco-friendly and lead-free. With an awesome selection of baits and colors, they've got a variety of techniques covered for you. Finesse jigs, underspins, Nico weights, Ned rigs, and more are all waiting for you at jadesjigs.com. And while you're there, use promo code FNF10 for 10% off your purchase. That's jadesjigs.com and promo code FNF10 for 10% off. All right, so this episode, we are bringing someone back on the podcast, someone who was very well received whenever he came on the first time, and just has, he is just one of those guys that, like, it doesn't matter how hard you try, you just can't find anything bad to say about him. He's just such an awesome guy, and he just has this aura of like everybody just loves to be around him. Everybody loves to talk to him. Every podcast I've heard him come on, he's always just been such a humble and phenomenal guy. So I am excited to bring him back on. He has kind of taken off here lately in terms of doing stuff outside of social media and um, doing stuff from like kayak lessons, and he's been going all over the place. But I'm going to go ahead, bring him back in. Jackson, Jay2Country, welcome back to the Faith and Fishing podcast, brother.
What's going on, Cam? Appreciate you having me back on.
Absolutely, man. So to get us started off, if anyone did not hear our first episode with you on, or um, they haven't come across you before on social media, don't know who you are, kind of give us just who is Jay Jackson?
Brief rundown of me. My name is Jay Jackson. I'm born and raised in Fayetteville, North Carolina, also known as the 2-6 if you're from the area or whatnot. Right next door to Fort Bragg, well, they call it Fort Liberty now. I'm gonna still call it Fort Bragg. That's what I know it as. I'm a kayak fisherman. Had a rough life before that. A huge faith believer, believe in Jesus Christ, believe in God. I know Jesus went on the cross to die for our sins and purchase our souls. And I love the community. I mean, I could keep rambling on. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just me. I'm just me. Like, and that's just from people telling me about myself, because I don't like to pretty much brag about anything that I do.
Absolutely. He's also a phenomenal salesman because I have not only have I started a lot of the stuff that he promotes, I have purchased and have, I mean, he's got a lot of great sponsors that I have found are really great people. But we've even ended up on the Carolina Waters team together. Because he talked about him whenever he first came on. I was like, well, I got to check that out. I'm a sucker for a small business, especially a local one. And so I checked him out, and so yeah, I'll let him plug his code too. But if you want to try out some absolutely phenomenal gear, comfortable, keep the sun off of you, which is super important to me. CarolinaWatersNC.com. Use promo code STEEL15 if you want to support me. If you want to support Jay, it is
I simply forgot mine on top of my head, man.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
It's all right. I'm just like, I'm sitting thinking, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, hold on. Yes, I'll take I forgot off the top of my head. But even with support me, just use Cam's, like, use his discount code.
Just use mine and then put in the comments that it was supposed to be for Jay. All right, man. So you've had a lot going on. I've been watching on social media as best I can. I don't spend as much time on social media as I used to, but I've been watching. I mean, from you are, I mean, from the fitness side of things, you were just like there's no way that like. We are so far opposite on the spectrum in terms of like I am like the before picture and Jay is like the after picture of the 10 years of really, really, really hard work.
No.
And then on the face side, I saw it wasn't that long ago you got baptized. And I mean, you've done a lot of work there. On the kayak fishing side, you're doing lessons. Just kind of give us a rundown of what this past year has been like for you, man.
Ooh. Let me first turn down this Instagram and phone because it's about to go crazy at nighttime.
Yeah, I'm getting all the Carolina Waters messages too.
But For the past year, what is it? It is August 2nd. Okay, let's go around to the past year. Man, I have gotten two new kayaks, the Autopilot 120 from Old Town and the 106 powered by Minn Kota from Old Town. Both of those platforms are next level. That is it's it's almost cheating in a way, especially the autopilot. It's really cheating. But the main reason why I wanted to get the autopilot for it wasn't just so I can go out and fish lazily or comfortably. It was actually just to get more people who are disabled out there on the water, veterans, people who have birth defects, or say people who have like ailments, older people or whatnot, to get them into that kayak. Because I'm trying to let them know you don't have to go out and buy this like $10,000, $20,000 boat. You can get this like $4,300 kayak and still be comfortable. I've gotten a few veterans out there on that kayak, and it didn't take them long to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this for myself right now. So that was the initial reason for me getting that kayak right there, and I'm thankful for Old Town for making that kayak and sending that kayak to me, because I honestly don't get as much use of it as other people do. Same thing, the 106 Minn Kota, like that kayak, it's fun and zippy. It's almost like my Salty PDL 120. It's just fun and zippy, but it's more user friendly in a sense, because it's only one control of going back and forth with the throttle, and you steer with your feet. And people kind of take to that right there, just because it reminds them of like a little boat. So that's okay with that. But transfer over into like the community side, I've in a sense like calmed myself down from fishing solo and started fishing with a whole lot more people to get more people out there on the water, because I would love to be a tournament fisher like Trey Sullivan. Like Don Trey is an awesome tournament fisher. He chases tournaments like nobody's business. Like I
Absolutely.
salute him. Oh
He's
my
a
God.
hammer too.
Yes. Like
Shout out to Don Trail. Do you know his Instagram off the top of your head?
D Sullivan Fishing.
Okay, that's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to say it wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah, y'all go follow him. He's got some awesome content. He's a phenomenal angler. So yeah, go check him out for sure.
Most definitely. So, but like get more people out there on the water and everything. Uh, I found a love for it. Like I found a burning love for like, yeah, I can go catch these fish by myself and everything, make some content, and that's cool to get my name out there more. But I just want to get my name out there more to be able to get what I'm doing out there more. So in hopes to encourage other people to do the same thing. Like I have 6 kayaks. I'm the only one in this house. I don't even 6 kayaks by myself. So, like, I got a trailer now where I can carry at least 4 kayaks, and like, I'm just going around and taking people kayak fishing and whatnot. That's it, and helping them get on the water. And I'm thankful enough to actually be on the North Carolina fishing education team to be able to help people get out on the water, because they have kayaks of their own, and I'm just kind of just volunteering in there right now to be able to get people on the water. They have their whole system set up for the website, their login information, everything. People sign up for the kayak fishing course, and I'm there just to get my knowledge out. And totally doing just volunteer work right now. Like I love it. I love seeing people, you know, overcome a fear, or even just like say, I just want to check this off my list. And then they interact with me. I end up giving them my phone number and everything like that. I'm just like, yeah, just if you have any question about kayaking and whatnot, just shoot me a text message, call me, FaceTime me. Call or FaceTime is a whole lot better than text messaging. So they end up calling me, asking me a whole bunch of questions or whatnot. And I'm gonna say about a good 75% of them have bought their own kayaks within like the next like a week or two. I'm just like, wow.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. A lot of people, a lot of podcasts, and a lot of content creators talk a lot about growing the community. You don't see a lot of them that are actually doing it the way you are. So I applaud you for that, even if it does mean that I might have to share the water with a few more people every now and then. Um, but yeah, I'm like you. I started out as someone who would get upset whenever I saw that there was another car in the parking lot whenever I got to the lake. I mean, now like I'm inviting people to go, and I'm enjoying fishing with people and
mhm,
getting to know people. And I mean, I've made some, like, probably the closest things that I have to friends in my immediate area on the water.
exactly.
So I mean, I got guys on certain lakes that whenever I go, like I can see them across the lake and I know who they are. And I text them and be like, "I see you over there," and we go over and we talk and we catch a few fish together, and it's um, I mean it's but seeing you grow in the community like that is just absolutely awesome. So I wanted to ask, are you doing are your lessons kayak fishing specific, or are you doing like recreational kayaking, just the kayaking side as well, or what what all are you teaching right now?
So at the Johnny Picnic Center in Fayetteville, North Carolina, teaching is kayak fishing. It is mostly around kayak fishing, but also let people know like you don't have to go fish. I mean, it's best to get a fishing kayak. A kayak is made for fishing, but I mean, you can choose to just relax and pedal around, or even if you have a motor on it, motor around. And that's it. But right now, strictly teaching like kayak fishing, the ins and outs of it, the safeties of it. Because like say in the wintertime where we have just it's too many people going out on the water not prepared for the winter. And especially not knowing about like dry suits or how to prepare for the winter, like the 120 rule. If the air temperature and the water temperature doesn't equal 120 degrees, don't go out there or be prepared. Like some people don't know about that. So I'm giving them that bit of information. It's kind of like the information I had to learn as I went along that I'm going ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you right now, just so I don't have to read about you on the news. I don't have to hear about you being hurt or anything of the sort. Because I want, like you said,
Absolutely.
I want you to continue to grow. I don't I don't want to stop. I mean, when I see people have so much joy, like I just see that spark in the eye. I'm just like, that's it right there. You're hooked.
Absolutely. Yeah, it kills me every time I see somebody out on the water, especially in a kayak with like whenever it's 40 degrees and the water temperatures, and you know on a good day, maybe low 50s, and they're out there in jeans and a hoodie, and
Yeah.
or and it's like, that's not what you need to be wearing on the water. Um and then like whenever I see it makes me nervous whenever I see people in waders too, because
Oh yes.
you go overboard in waders, those things are going to fill up,
Hmm.
and you can't swim whenever you got a whole bunch of water weighing you down. So it always makes me nervous seeing that too. But yeah, it makes me feel good to know that there's somebody out there teaching the right things to do, and growing the community the right way like that. So definitely props to you on that. Um, excited to see where it's going to go. And Robert is here. So
Uh-oh.
we're
What's going on, guys?
how's it going,
Hey man,
Robert?
what's up?
I'm doing good. What about you guys?
I was waiting
Hanging
on
in
you.
there.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me get these earbuds in.
Absolutely. So, Robert, we were talking with Jay, about growing the community and what he's been doing with teaching kayak fishing lessons down there in Fayetteville, and um, did you want to jump in on the conversation, or did you want us to
Well,
continue
yeah,
for a
because
minute? Or
no, I'll jump in on it because I
heck yeah,
downloaded the thing the other day to fill out the application so I could join you in teaching some of those classes. But
Sweet,
I
man.
haven't. Yeah, I'm gonna do it, man. I've been seeing your post on there, so I went on to the NC Wildlife Resource Commission website and downloaded the stuff. So I got to fill it out, send it back in, and go through a little bit of training for it. But I told my wife the other day, I said, you know what, I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to volunteer a little bit of time and try to help teach some of that. So yeah, man, I love seeing your post on that and then seeing what you're doing with it and just teaching people, this great sport that we all love. So man, it's I want to get a little piece of that too. So I think that's a good thing for sure.
Appreciate it, man. Trust me, it
Yeah.
is so fulfilling. And like, not only do we do the kite fishing courses too, it's fly fishing, and then just all.
Yeah.
it must be you, Robert, because we've gone this entire 20
Oh
minutes,
yeah. Well, it probably is
and
me.
Jay is currently frozen up on us, so we'll let him buffer and
Yeah, he was talking about the fly fishing. Like I saw some of their post on there and kind of looked over their website and a little bit of the post that they did. I think maybe they were doing it on Facebook, but the fly fishing classes, man, look legit. They had people on there showing them how to tie flies. They had casting clinics on the fly fishing techniques. So a lot of good information on there, and not just for beginners. I mean, I've been fishing my whole life, and I've dabbled a little bit in fly fishing, but that's definitely something that I could use some help on too. So I'm glad to see that, and I'm excited maybe to do a little something, um, and help out a little bit with that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those listening, we are waiting on Jay to come back into the show. Not sure what went on there, but yeah. Oh, here he is. He is back.
Hey, I have no idea what happened.
I
Can't
told
blame it
Robert
on me.
it must have been him.
That's all
Everything
good.
just started going like boom, boom, boom. I was like, okay.
It probably is me because it did it the whole time last week, but I'm back on the regular computer this week, so shouldn't be a problem. So, but we'll see. If it does it again, then maybe I'll try it on my phone if it's me. I don't know.
Okay.
Absolutely. Maybe I need to get in on this kayak fishing training thing too, just so that there's at least somebody out there teaching people how to do it with a paddle in their hands.
I knew that was coming. At least we have
Well,
got you a little bit with some finesse baits now. So you know what I mean. At least if you're paddling, you can throw some finesse stuff and not just paddle and crank the whole time.
I mean, I could lend you a pedal kayak one day and just, you want to use it for a couple of days, a week or two, a month or so,
He wouldn't give it back if he tried it.
Well, I've helped other people pick up those old towns. I don't want to put those on top of my car, man.
They are style. I'm not gonna lie about that. They are very
Yeah.
style. But I mean, I rode one in the surf on the beach, so they're made tough.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if I had a truck that I could throw it in the bed of or something like that, I probably would be a little more open to the idea. But right now, throwing it on top of an SUV, somewhere in that 65 to 70 pound range is my sweet spot. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you have. Whatever gets you out there, man, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is. So that's a lot to that's a lot to do with it. Is whatever fits, whatever you got that you can get out there. Whether it's throwing it on top of a car, if you got a heavy one, putting it on a trailer. I started out because I was duck hunting out of a kayak and was too lazy to hook the boat up one day, and then just took my duck hunting kayak fishing, and then man, it wasn't long I sold the boat. So, you know, whatever you get you out there, you know, a lot of people, if you guys are listening, you know, go on Facebook Marketplace if you want to get into it. Find a used one. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, it doesn't have to be the best. And actually, I would suggest not starting out with the best. Start out and have to struggle a little bit. It makes you appreciate when you do get to upgrade.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, start out, make sure you like it without going and spending a ton of money. You know, get something secondhand. That's what I did.
Yeah, 'cause I still got my very first kayak still, $350 from Day Sporting Goods. That company went out of business. The Future Beach company went out of business, and I still take that kayak out once a month. I'm like, I just want to paddle around for a little bit, so I don't just paddle around. I still know the struggles of being in the sit-in kayaking and paddling around. Like, I can't really say I love that more than my old town. I can't say that. No, I can't say that because sentimental. They got me here, so I love it more than my old town.
There you go.
Awesome. So yeah, man. So you've been doing that. Was there anything else that you needed to catch us up on in the past year before we move on to something else?
Me getting baptized. That was.
Yeah, man. Tell us about that.
I've seen 3 other people get baptized before I did, and I've never felt the need to. I never felt the pull. Like, it's like, okay, good. I'm there for your support and everything. Like, it was individual baptisms, and I was like, okay, I'm there for your support. I pray for you and everything like that. And it's like that's a beautiful thing, but just never felt that initial pull for me. And then it was in November. It was like God was saying, "Hey, man, I can't continue this until you do this." So it's time. And the next thing you know, I was going to the church manor and it's talking about baptism. I was like, okay, so all right, God, I need one more sign. I need one more sign. Like this right here. And he gave me that sign. I was like, okay, I got it. I'm not gonna be hard headed no more. I'm gonna get baptized.
Yeah, that's cool. That's you know, people ask me about getting baptized, and my kids have asked me about it, which some of my kids have been baptized, you know, as you know, almost grown adults, you know, to make that choice on their own. And
Yeah.
you know, it's like you got to do it when it's right for you. And that's what, you know, you'll know and you'll feel that on your heart. And, you know, that'll be the time to do it. You can't do it for anybody else. You just got to do it for yourself and the Lord. And so that's awesome.
And I love that story. You're like Gideon. It's like, it's like, okay, if I come out and the sponge is wet, but everything else is dry, then I'll know that you want me to do this. Oh, the sponge is wet and everything else is dry. I tell you what, tomorrow, if the sponge is dry and everything else is wet, then I'll know.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny how we're like that. It's like we get signs and signs and signs. It's like, okay, one more sign and I know that it's real.
That's it.
It's funny how that works, but it's also funny how God obliges. God isn't like, I've already given you 15 signs. What more do you want? He's like, all right, if that's what it's going to take, here you go. Here's another one.
Exactly.
And I love that about God, and I love that about your story for sure.
Yeah. And by me getting baptized, like I have some friends that's trying to pull out of, I guess you could say, the hood life in a sense, like in the bad areas, and they saw me do that, and they knew how my past was and everything, and now they're considering it. They're like, okay, so this God character, man, fill me in with you getting baptized and everything. You want to start something brand new for sure, for sure. What is this about? Like, did it do anything for you? And I'll tell people like, I mean, yeah, it was a cleansing of myself or my old self and everything. I tell them like, hey, you might want to read up on the book of Matthew or whatnot, and how Jesus was baptized, and then next thing you know, he was put into the wilderness. Because I mean, it's not gonna be all, butterflies and unicorns and rainbows. Because after I get baptized, I had about a good 2 days of peace, and then it was all hell broke loose for the next month. I was like, okay, I'm getting tested. I was like, but you know what? I can endure this. I can definitely endure this, and I did, and I'm thankful I did, because now I can tell people how to go into the fire, go into the lion's den, go into the wilderness, and be able to come out victorious. Like, you're gonna have tests, trials, tribulations, but you gotta stay fast. You gotta remember what the end goal is, not temporary. We're going long term.
Absolutely. So you said now you can tell people how to do this. How do you do it?
How you do it? You have to have a strong circle around you, like a good support system around you that's gonna keep your head up. When your head is dropping down, they're gonna need to be able to pray with you, pray for you, and be like, "Hey, this is not you," and make sure that you're gonna stay on the right path. That's the number one thing. Support, I'm gonna say, the biggest thing. I actually slipped back into a mini depression state, and I noticed it. I was like, I need to go find this friend right here who prays for me, and that was my god sister Aisha. And I was like, hey, I'm slipping back to the state right here. So I'm for the next week or two, maybe even a month, I need you around me. And she was there constantly on point with it. The next thing, sticking in the word. Sticking in the word. Like, I read the Bible so much throughout the day, and even just listening to it, like actually on the YouVersion app, and just there's a play button, you just hit play, just listen to it or whatnot. Listening to different biblical podcasts and everything. Yours, Dad Tired, Elevation Church, Transformation Church, Life Church, just different churches. Like, constantly, I'm like, I need to keep this word in my head. I need to keep it in my heart. I need to harp on it. And what is it? Because actually, the Bible verse has been resonating with me probably for the past year, to be honest. Like, Jeremiah 29:13. If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. And like, I've been steadfast looking for him, God, Jesus. Like, my eyes are fixated on him, and I know he's gonna put me in the right direction. But as far as after the baptism goes, like, just you have to stay in the word, you have to have a good support system, you have to know what the end goal is, you have to know who God is, and he's not gonna put anything on you that you can't overcome. And even if you think you can't overcome it, he's already put those things in place for you to overcome it. You just have to go to those things and lean on him for his understanding and not our own. Go through the fire and come out.
Man, every single one of those points was on point. I mean, the starting off with that circle, that's such a powerful thing. I tell people all the time, because people see that I'm not really. See, there's that refrigerator I was talking about that's so loud. We got a new refrigerator, and it makes this weird buzzing noise instead of a normal ice maker noise, and it's going to be one that bothers me whenever I go back and edit this, because I'm not going to be able to edit that out.
It'll be fine.
But yeah, so going back to the circle, people ask me all the time about how I tend to come off as a very stress-free person. And I don't get rattled by stuff, and people ask me all the time, what's the secret to not being stressed? And it's like, one of the secrets to not being stressed is surround yourself with people who are good at the things that you're bad at. And if and that goes towards what you were saying too. If you surround yourself with people who who are in the Word and strong in the Word and everything. When one of you is having a tough time, like you were saying, you can reach out to the others, and that's why community is that's what Robert and Paul were talking about last week. That's why community is such an important part of faith in general. So yeah, as they say, that'll preach, brother.
Mm-hmm. And what you said right there actually puts a verse in my head. I have to look up. I know it's Galatians 6:2. I believe it goes something like share each other's burdens. So pretty much you're supposed to share each other's burdens and not let each other fall into sin, or even in a sense down in the dumps. So we're meant for community. We're not meant to be alone and solo.
Yeah, and that's this thing about being in the Word and surrounding yourself with those people, and going to church and surrounding yourself with people. It's the community that makes it all work, because it's like you guys said, when somebody's struggling, you're going to have 4 or 5 people there to help pull you up that hill and get over the top of it. And, and then you're there to do the same thing for them when they're struggling. And just to have people around you that understand that, nobody is perfect, and everybody's going to go through those times, like you were saying, like, oh, I feel like I'm getting off track. I'm falling back into this or that or whatever. That's stuff that everybody goes through it, all the time. It's a series of peaks and valleys. And if you don't have that support system around you, and you don't have some people that can help you pull you up that hill every once in a while, it's a lonely place to be. And that's where a lot of people get off track. And you hear one of the big key phrases now is mental health, and people talking about struggling with mental health. And if you're surrounding yourself with people that are in the Word, and you're surrounding yourself with a good community of Christ-like minded people, you're not going to have as many mental health problems, because those people can help you get through those times. And I feel like mental health has become a bigger issue the more people that are maybe away from what the Word of God and the things that we should be doing. And once we get more people on that right track, I think you'll see people's mental health being a better place. So
absolutely. And speaking to that really quick, a few weeks ago, I mentioned on the podcast that my seasonal depression that I always get in the summertime had started. And I just want to say thank you to all of y'all who reached out to me after that episode to, like Robert said, help pull me up that hill and just let me know that somebody was there for me. Somebody heard me, and they wanted to reach out. Man, I cannot tell you how much that meant to me. So it means a lot just that you're listening at all, but then the fact that you reached out and wanted to be there for me, and help pull me up that hill. It meant so much. So absolutely, thank you so much to all of y'all who reached out. But yeah, Jay, we are getting to the 40-minute mark here. So what we're gonna do is we're going to play a couple ads, and then we're going to jump into what's your favorite again, with our round 2 of what's your favorite questions. So we will get that started right after this. If a fly rod is your weapon of choice, check out Atollas. Their Fly Caddy is the most convenient way to get your favorite flies to the water, or just keep them handy by clipping it to your hat, truck visor, backpack, rod case, or just whatever. You can also bundle it up with flies from independent fly tires that Atollas has teamed up with through their Fly Light project. Choose from bundles specializing in redfish, carp, saltwater, or freshwater. Head over to atollas.co, that's ATOLLAS.co, to get your Fly Caddy today and use promo code faithnfish15 to save 15% on your order. That's faith the letter N, fish the number 15 at checkout for 15% off. Mr. B Lure Company is making high-quality handcrafted lures and has been for 30 years, right here in the U.S. Using all-metal components, owner and gamakatsu hooks, and silicone or frog hair skirts, Mr. B is pumping out some awesome spinnerbaits, jigs, buzzbaits, underspins, and more, including some of the most unique bladed jigs on the market. To fill up your tackle box, go to MrBLureCompany.com, that's MRBLureCompany.com, and use promo code faithnfishnpod1x10 at checkout to save 10% on your first order. That's faith the letter N, fish the letter N, POD, so Faith and Fishing Pod, just like our Instagram handle, 1x10. All right. So, Robert, you want to get us started?
Yeah, so the first one on the second round, since you've already answered the first round of questions, is your favorite character from the Bible.
Job. Hands down. Job.
Yeah. Job is a good one.
What is it about Job that stands out to you?
Oh, man. If anybody had faithful tattooed on their forehead, it's Job. That dude is faithful. Like getting everything taken away from him, family, land, riches, wife, kids, home, health, and then still saying, God, I still serve you. That's him. Like, I admire his steadfastness and his faithfulness to God. Like, if there's, I don't want to go through the seasons. I don't wish to. I don't know. But and able to, if I can just have that much faith. I know I have a lot of faith, but I see his faith as being like just massive. So his faithfulness, that stands out to me the most.
Okay. All right. Your favorite Bible translation?
New Living Translation, or if I'm reading for somebody else, it's going to be the easy to read.
Okay.
And what about your favorite book of the Bible?
I think when I go through different seasons, I just had different books I kind of gravitate to. I don't have just one.
What's the one for this season right now?
This season right now, I'm gonna say it's gonna be between. Oh man, I've been dibbling between three of them actually. Now thinking about it, Genesis, Matthew, and Jeremiah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good span there.
I know.
Robert, you're up.
Let's go with the favorite time of the day to fish.
Right now?
Yeah. Hot of the summer, what's your favorite time?
I'm switching over to nighttime right now, to be honest. So people are going to see a whole lot more nighttime content because I really want to see how much the bass will bite at nighttime. I've been micro fishing and pan fishing lately because I figured out those are more sight fishers and they'll still feed when the sun's high and hot. Like they're gonna feed regardless. But now I'm like, okay, the water temperature when I went out there a few days ago was 95 degrees. I'm like, that is boiling. I don't want to move in 95-degree weather or water. Like that's hot. That's hot. So I know they're tucked in behind the lily pads or they're down deep And then if you can find them, you have to get them to bite. So my favorite time really right now is like early morning, really early morning, but soon it's gonna be nighttime.
Okay.
And I know I have that luxury right now because no wife, no kids. So it's like, okay, let's do everything I want to do right now.
Absolutely. So what kind of fishing are you doing at night? Are you like you throwing top water, or you throwing finesse, or you throwing like moving baits, big worms? What are you doing?
Anything that makes noise for nighttime, just so they can key in on it, whether it's going to be a deep diving crankbait with some beads inside of it, whether it's going to be a big, like a Zoom old monster worm, but actually like spike it with a few, like pretty much like you can have like a little tube, spike it into actually the worm and put a few beads in the tube just so it can actually rattle back and forth in there. And then get a bass out, anything that makes noise for bass.
Okay.
And I know people really don't like catching catfish, but I'm a multi-species fisherman. Like, I don't care. I catch anything from a tiny little minnow and hopefully to a sailfish or a blue marlin one day. So, like catfishing, definitely. They're on the hit list right now. I got some shad in the freezer that I need to put to use.
Absolutely. All right. Let's see. Your favorite lure color?
Mm. For which fish?
Let's start with bass.
Watermelon candy.
Watermelon candy. Heck yeah. All right. Now let's switch over to saltwater.
Saltwater. Anything near translucent like this slam shading, or like a copper color, like a root beer copper color with some gold flakes in it if the water's really kind of murky or whatnot.
All right. Absolutely. Yeah. Watermelon candy was the first soft plastic color that I gained confidence in.
Yes.
I was throwing baby brush hogs in watermelon candy thinking that I was the stuff because I was catching something on a soft plastic lure.
I still have confidence in watermelon candy. This is when that plastic goes down in there and just all those different colors start just light up by the sun. Yeah, it hones in on the bass and everything. I mean, of course, because you gotta think about when you have a bluegill in your hand and you have it like, say hitting the sunlight, it's changing colors just like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go with I think the next one is, what's your favorite pizza topping?
I think I'm about to head out right now because I'm about to get bashed for this. I'm about to get bashed for this. Oh God. Let me get myself together.
Oh, this should be good.
Everybody, I love y'all, okay? Because I know this is a very everybody's always like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you like that on pizza. Like it's good, just try it. If you don't like it the first time, try it 2 more times. You'll like it. I promise you. All right, chicken, bacon, and pineapple.
You
Oh, yeah,
said
that's not bad.
chicken, bacon, and pineapple? Okay. I'm all about some pineapple on pizza, so I might even deal with chicken on a pizza for some pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, I'm down
Okay,
with
all
the
right.
chicken, and I'm down with the chicken and the bacon, and I mean I could do the pineapple. I like
Okay.
pineapple. Yeah.
All right, if I'm going down, we all go down together.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. All right. And last but not least, to kind of finish this up, your favorite TV show of all time?
Oh gosh. You said all time.
All time.
Okay, I'm about to say because I really don't watch TV. I have 3 TVs and I don't watch them. They're just for the people. Um, all time. Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. Oh man, my buddy Jonathan, the gospel nerd, he is excited right now, and then he is also laughing because he knows that I know nothing about Dragon Ball Z. Um, but I've got to ask for him, who's your favorite character from Dragon Ball Z?
For me, it's gonna be, I don't want to say Goku because that's like the main hero character. Jeez, man. But I do relate to him a lot though, because Goku is like the main character and he just wants to get stronger and fight anybody who's stronger than him, but ultimately want to save everybody that he loves. That's it. Like he's like really off in La La Land and like kind of, I'm gonna say Goku. Whatever. I'm gonna say Goku. Generic, but I'm gonna say Goku.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with. I mean, if the main character is your favorite character, that means they wrote him correctly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I and nothing wrong with that. That's kind of the whole point. All right, so let's we're getting ready to wrap up here. Let everybody know what is coming up next for Jay Jackson.
What is coming up next with Jay Jackson? That's a very good question. Get more people out into the community of kayak fishing. That's it. Just get more people out there. That's my main focus right now. Or even getting people reintroduced into just general fishing. So shout out to Tom, Matt, and Lisa at the Johnny Peckman Center for doing what they do in the North Carolina Fishing Education Team for everything they do, all the volunteers and everything. And I was supposed to start, I think, yeah, I was supposed to start my own podcast in February, but a whole bunch of things popped up and I had to kind of postpone a few episodes. And pretty much what I'm doing is like going across the country or East Coast first and traveling to like, different states and whatnot just to kayak fish and talk to people. That's it. Like, and hopefully people that don't even kayak fish in general at first, but just to get them on the kayak, like, all right. And that's in a sense to spread the community too. So, okay, you have a story to tell. Let's get my kayak and are you gonna kayak fish? Well, you're going to in a few days. Don't worry. So that's it. Like, and I definitely say, yeah, I'm gonna definitely say your podcast is definitely inspiration for that because just constantly listening to the episodes that I listen to, and then even the very first time you had me up on this podcast, I was like, I love his energy, I love his spirit, I love the way he talks, I love how he puts other people first. Like I can definitely tell Cam is a servant. So definitely I give my hats off to you for like, putting that fire out there. And plus, I mean, I'm gonna have it's not gonna be completely faith-based because I know everybody doesn't have that like faith that we do, but I'm gonna still, kind of instill a little bit of seed in them too. Like, hey, why I do the things I do? Because it's God's love. That's it. Like,
Well, first, let me say thank you for the kind words. It definitely means a lot. And yeah, I was thinking about that episode today. Whenever I was kind of getting prepared for this episode, I was like, man, that was back whenever it was so much more awkward than it is now because it was recording a phone call. So like you couldn't see each other's face. So if somebody is somebody who like they talk with their hands a lot or they like me, somebody who talks with their face a lot more than they do with the tone of their voice. It's a lot more, a lot better conversation being able to see the person that you're interacting with. But yeah, it's definitely fun to kind of look back and see the progression of the podcast and where it's come. But it's also, you were one of the people who has shared that, people have reached out to you about your story on the podcast, and that was kind of a reminder of why we do it.
Exactly.
It's because your story matters, and you need a place to share it. So, yeah, excited. I've been excited since February whenever you started talking about it. So I'm looking forward to it actually showing up sometime on my feed. But yeah, so let us know, anybody who does not know yet, where can we find you on social media, YouTube, website, anything like that, that if somebody wants to follow your adventures, where do they find you?
So if you can follow me anywhere, you can find me at Jay2Country. That's JAY, the number 2 country, COUNTRY. Or for the hopefully soon podcast come out, Kayak Conversations, Kayak and Conversations with a K, KONBRSANTRY.
Absolutely. And what a great podcast name too. But and I want to give you a chance to shout out sponsors, supporters, anybody you want to say thank you to or give a shout out to. The floor is yours.
Anybody? Oh man, I don't like this part because everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you didn't shout me out." Stop. First and foremost, God, Jesus Christ, for just allowing me to do the things that I do and instilling everything that's inside of me, and to be able to reach people that I do reach. So I do thank them, because without them, I'm honestly not. I already be extremely lost or dead, to be honest. um, Mom and dad, brother, cousin, sponsors, Old Town, Carolina Waters, Trailblazer, Yak Gear, Nakwa, Fish USA, salute to Fish USA for picking me up last year. Awesome type of job. And then being able to collab with the North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commissioners, especially the North Carolina Fishing Education Team in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Tom, Matt, Lisa, salute to y'all too. Geez, man. Alex, the marketing manager from Old Town. He has been like a direct brother in Christ with me. Like, I appreciate everything that he does, not only for the company, but just for like personal wise too. He's an awesome guy. Doesn't get enough credit. I'm constantly praying for him and everything. Same thing with Ryan. Shout out to both of y'all for having me on here. Like, for real. Trail for always agreeing to any kind of crazy kayak fishing adventure I have, especially in salt water, because I know he didn't like it at first, but now he likes it. So, everybody, I think that's everybody. Oh man, people gonna be mad at me. Everybody who I know and love. If I told you I love you this year, shout out to you. If you told me you love me this year, shout out to you too also. Okay, Aisha, Lexi, Steph, uh, everybody. Okay, I'm done. I think I'm not gonna get yelled at too much.
Well, Jay, thank you so much for coming back on the show. It has not disappointed. It's been a phenomenal episode. But before you go, I do need to let you know that next time you come up here to Lake Crabtree and go kayak fishing on Lake Crabtree and you do not let me know, I'm going to have to scold you again.
I was like, I hope he doesn't do this. Okay, it's almost over. He didn't do it. Okay, nope.
He went to your spot right there.
Yeah, he goes to my lake and doesn't even let me know he's there so that I can fish with him.
Well,
You know
I'm
what?
glad you. Go ahead.
Next time I'll bring 2 kayaks. I'll bring pedal kayak for you there, so you'll be able to, you can paddle or pedal, and we'll get it. We have a tournament.
I was gonna say, tell him when you go to Crabtree and tell me when you go back to the coast, because I want to roll with you on that. So
I'm down.
Next time you're heading out there, and my kids play ball, I got crazy schedule, but I started fishing a little bit of saltwater stuff, so I need a little bit of guidance. I need a little bit of guidance. I need a little bit of help to get on some flounders and some redfish out there. So,
have you ever? Well, no, you just say you started there, so you know what a bull red is, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, just keep it in mind.
All right. Just let me know.
Oh man, I want to go too.
Oh, come on, everybody can go.
That man Carolina sleigh ride.
Yeah. When it gets to the fall, we need to have, and you guys go back and listen to the end of last week's episode, but me and Paul I threw an idea out there, and I'm going to get this together at some point in time. But all these content creators in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, we're going to get together. We're going to cook a whole hog. We're going to figure out a place to go kayak fishing, and maybe we'll have a little side pot tournament, and we're going to just get together and have a good time sometime coming up. So I kind of had that idea in the back of my mind for a while. So threw it out there to Paul last week. So I'm on everybody we have on that's from North Carolina, that's on the kayak side of things. I'm going to hit you guys up and see if we can figure it out. And I'll just come with a date, and everybody that can come is more than welcome. And if you can't make it, then maybe we'll do it again next year, and it might line up. So,
definitely.
Robert,
yeah.
I cannot. Whenever I was editing last week's episode, I cannot tell you how excited I got whenever y'all started talking about having a pig picking. And my graduation party for my high school graduation party was a pig picking. And then Paul goes and starts talking about the jowls and the tongue. I'm like, there's only so much of that to go around. You can't be advertising that that's the best part.
Yeah, you can do that. But when you're standing there and you're the one cooking it, I mean, by the time you're done cooking it, you're so full anyway that it doesn't matter, because you already been picking at that thing, just trying to see, everything that's done or not done. So there's no part of it that's bad to me. I'll put it that way.
Absolutely. Well, Jay, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. We have had a blast, man.
Hey, appreciate y'all having me, man, for real.
A huge selection and crazy fast shipping is already enough to turn heads as an online tackle shop, but Omnia Fishing sets themselves apart with their ambassador program. With Omnia, you can send in fishing reports for your local lakes that recommend baits, structure, tactics, and gear. And when another angler takes your advice and purchases something from your report, you get credit for it to spend at Omnia. The best part means that with Omnia Fishing, you can shop by lake and purchase baits and gear that are proven to work where you're fishing. To get started, go to omniafishing.com and use promo code FNF15 to save 15% on your first order.
Few things ruin your day on the water as bad as losing gear. But with the retrieval devices for fishing rods, action cams, bow fishing bows, and more from Save Your Outdoors, you don't have to let dropping your stuff ruin your day, because you can get it back. The pressure-sensitive filter keeps water from rain and quick dips in the water out, but it lets water in when your gear goes overboard to release a float attached to your gear by 60 feet of line so you can get it back. Go to SaveYourOutdoors.com to learn more and try some for yourself. and use promo code FNFP15 to save 15% on your order. That's SAVUROutdoors.com and promo code FNFP15. Another huge thank you to Jay for coming on the show and coming back on the show and getting caught up with us and talking, what we always talk about, faith, fishing, growing the community, and all that great stuff, man. It was a phenomenal episode. I will have his links in the show notes if you want to follow along. Also, there will be that All Things Faith and Fishing link in the show notes. So make sure that you click on that. Check out our sponsor links. Check out our Omnia profiles. Check out the website and the merch store. All of that good stuff. I'm gonna try to start working on some new merch. So be checking to see what might be popping up. But Robert, man, I know you ended up coming in just a little bit late, but
I did. So I didn't hear the first part of it, but it'll be fun to go back and listen to the first part of that. I'll just put out a couple of one-liners. Number one, if you guys don't know how to tie a polymer knot, y'all go check out Jay2Country. He got a reel out on how to do that. And I've watched it like 3 or 4 times. I usually tie the improved clinch knot, and that's what I just always go to. But I think he's inspired me. I might try to tie that just to have another knot in my arsenal. So I appreciate him.
I'll tie the Palomar knot when I'm using a drop shot, but most of the time it's an improved clinch knot.
Yeah, that's what I always grew up doing, was the clinch knot. And then just recently, like within the last couple of years, I just made that extra step and made it the improved. It never really fails, but also too, like that knot looks a little bit faster to me. Like if you're out on the water, it looks a little bit faster. So I may start messing around with that. But other than that, man, just have a good week. Check us out on Facebook. I know we got some new people checking in over there, so we try to support each other on that, and give us a shout out, man.
Absolutely. Well, Robert, let's go ahead. Let's close it out with a prayer, and we will call this one finished. God, thank you so much for Jay and for allowing him to come on the show. Thank you for what he means to so many people and to what he means to this community of kayak anglers and this community of Christ followers. Thank you for his heart. Thank you for his passion, and pray that you continue to bless his ministry and his platforms and everything that he's got going. Pray that you just saturate his life and continue to shine in and through him, and continue to put on a show in his life. God, thank you for everyone who is listening to this right now, whether it is the day it comes out or whether it's been out for 10 years. Thank you so much that that person is listening right now, and pray that you meet them where they are. Pray that you use me and Robert and Jay's words to meet them and to touch them where they are. And God, thank you so much for this community that we have, and this platform that we have to just be able to share faith stories and fishing memories, and to be able to talk about catching fish and chasing fish and kayaking and talk about you with whoever decides to listen. So God, we thank you so much. We love you, and it is in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. That's going to do it for this episode, y'all. Y'all take care, and God bless. Thank you for listening to the Faith and Fishing podcast. Faith and Fishing is produced and hosted by Cam Steele and Robert Randolph, and is sponsored by Savior Outdoors, Jay's Jigs, Get Outdoors Pedal and Paddle, Mr. B Lure Company, Atollas, and Omnia Fishing. Don't forget to join the Facebook community, Follow us on Instagram and subscribe, rate, and review us on whatever app you're listening on. That's going to do it for this episode. Y'all take care and God bless.